Welcome back, everybody. So today we're going to talk about the best 5 performance mods for your C4 Corvette. I did a series several months ago on every single bolt-on off-the-shelf item that you could get and put on your car, whether or not it was worth it or not. This is pretty much a summary of those items that I did to my car and which ones I think are the best and for the best dollar amount without getting crazy. This isn't heads, cams, anything like that. It's pretty much for anybody who just bought a C4 and they want to do a couple things to it without getting too crazy. So I'm going to talk about all 5 items in detail and tell you why I picked those items and show you what they are and how they go on the car. Okay, so number 1 is this: spark plugs, spark plug wires, distributor cap and rotor, and possibly the ignition coil. The reason why I'm saying this is that it's kind of a simple thing and more like a maintenance thing, but a lot of times it goes neglected. A lot of people will throw parts at the car if it's running rough, mass airflow sensors, all sorts of stuff, when it's just a basic kind of maintenance thing that needs to be done. If you have a car like mine that sat forever, it's just one thing you kind of have to address. And if you're trying to get any kind of performance out of your engine, that's one of those things you need to do probably right away, along with oil change, fuel filter, basic maintenance. But some people may debate and say that's more of a maintenance thing than a performance thing, but anybody knows you need good spark for that thing to run good. So that's why my number 1 pick is just that: spark plugs, wires, cap and rotor. So you can get spark plug set. They range anywhere from $2 to $6 plug, depending where you want to be as far as performance and stuff like that. Wire sets start at like $40, anywhere to like $120, but you can go right in the middle for a decent one, like $60 range. And then just same thing with the distributor cap and rotor, $40, $50, depending on what brand you want to get. But that's one thing I feel like you need to kind of address right out of the gate. If you're new to the C4 world, pretty much any car world, an old car that you have that sits or isn't driven a lot, that hasn't been maintained, that should be something that should be addressed right away before you get into any of the additional bolt-on mods. Okay, and my number 2 pick is this: the air filter lid mod, or the aftermarket bolt-in modified ABS plastic lid that you can just buy and put on. So my car's an 85, so they have this for the tune port engine cars, and then they have one for the later for the LT1 engine cars, but it's the same concept. So what's common is you take your factory lid and you just cut a big rectangle in it and it opens it up so your filter can breathe better. So you could go that route and it'll cost you $0, or you could do what I did and bought this $65 piece of plastic that fits kind of okay, but it works, it does a job. And I do have a K&N filter in here, but you could just run your factory filter if you wanted to, but it does free up a lot of airflow from the original air cleaner lid. So that's my number 2 pick, and you're talking about a free modification or a $65 lid and, I don't know, $45 air filter if you wanted to go that route. But if you're new and you want to make a little bit extra power, just cut a nice clean rectangle in the front of your lid and put it back on the car. Okay, so my number 3 pick is this: the Throttle Body Coolant Bypass Hose Kit. So this allows you to completely get rid of all the hoses and the coolant away from the throttle body so the cold air can go in there. And this gives you a nice clean look from the front of the intake manifold all the way to the passenger side hard pipe that runs along your wheel well there. They also have another kit that is like a little union that you just take the hoses off the throttle body and you kind of move them out of the way, and you hook that up with 2 hose clamps and it bypasses the coolant from the throttle body. But this is a nice cleaner look, and it comes with 2 caps to cap off the throttle body for a nice clean look, and 2 hose clamps obviously for the hose. Fun fact is I actually developed this about 1.5 years ago. So thanks to everybody who's been buying these, been selling a lot of them. Appreciate all the support. I did notice the other day on eBay that there are a lot of companies out there selling knockoff versions of these. So just to let you know, if it is under our listing, LCOBMW, or you just go under the description, there's links to all our products on there, and then you'll know you're getting the one that is from us here, from our shop. So that is my number 3 pick, and that is a whopping $29.99 for that hose and all that. And I'll show you what it looks like on the car real quick to show you that like kind of clean look. Okay, you can see the hose coming off the intake there. It comes all the way around here, right over into that hard line right there, nice and clean. And then you can see that's where it would go originally, and there's a cap, and then there's also one on the other side. Okay, my number 4 pick is this, Smog Pump Delete Kit. Same as it sounds, you're deleting the smog pump for the emissions that pumps the air into your exhaust. You pretty much unbolt that, all the brackets, in place of that you put 2 lightweight metal brackets and a little pulley that you just hook your factory belt up to, and it gets rid of all of that stuff. So you have to check your state regulations. This car is registered as an antique. It doesn't have any emission regulations or anything like that, so I don't have to worry about that. But if that's something that you want to go down, just check out your local laws and stuff like that. But smog pump delete, you're just freeing up some horsepower with your engine. The only other thing you'll run into once you delete that is you actually have to cap off where your exhaust manifolds are. There's check valves there. We actually sell the metal cap kits. If you end up removing the actual check valves, this will go right on the threaded part of the smaller pieces that are on your exhaust manifold. Or if you keep the check valves, we sell rubber caps with hose clamps as well that you can just throw those on top, hose clamp it, and then so that's not opened anymore when you do the delete. So those smog pump kits range from, I've seen them as low as 50 all the way to like 120. I think the one I bought was in the $65, $75 range. I can't find the link anymore. In the video that I did, I had the link. It's no longer connected to anything. It was on eBay. The guy was from Maryland. He was a machinist. It was a really nice product. I could use the factory belt. It's another thing to ask before you buy it if you can do that. A lot of times they give you like a part number for a different belt. But for me, I just bolted it up, used the original belt, and it was that easy for the most part. So that's my number 4 pick. I think that's a nice bolt-on thing that you can get rid of that emission stuff, and kind of leads up into my number 5 pick, which we'll get into. But I'll just show you real quick what that smog pump delete looks like on the car. This is the back side of it. You can just see it's relatively simple. It's not the best looking thing, but it does the job. There you can see, there's the pulley, bolts to the head, bolts to the alternator. Okay, last but not least is this. Number 5 is dual exhaust. I did a custom DIY true dual exhaust several videos ago. I got the hooker headers new, a pipe kit, and 2-chamber mufflers that are like a Flowmaster knockoff. I did the whole thing with all the clamps, everything that I needed, the paint and stuff like that, for under $600. I think it was like $584. The car sounds amazing. It runs so much better with that. It feels like it's so much faster, and that's kind of like the little bit of an illusion when you have an exhaust because it sounds more throatier. But for $600, granted I did all the fabrication and welding and stuff like that, but you could buy all those things, paint them, wrap the headers, you know, pretty much clamp it if you don't have a welder, or take it to a friend that can weld. I do have it all documented in the videos, so if you're interested in that, check that out. But $600 and got a true dual exhaust, and it sounds awesome, like I said. So to me, that was probably one of the best things that I did for the car, and probably one of my favorite projects to date. If you compare it to the cat back exhaust kit for $1,300, or like the true dual exhaust kits that they sell, and then headers, if you piece all that stuff out there, it's very expensive. It's like thousands of dollars. When I first got my car, I was doing research on all that stuff, and I was like, that's kind of crazy. I mean, it's just dual exhaust for the most part. So that's why I did that video on making my own dual exhaust. And to me, that's why number 5 is the most important for me, is that for $600, you get a rockin' exhaust that sounds awesome, and the car drives so much nicer because of it. All right, so that's my top 5 picks. So if you're new to the C4 world, you just pick one up, you're looking to do a couple things to it that are bolt-on, that are not gonna break the bank, those would be my picks in my opinion. I did those all to my car, and I feel like out of everything that I did, they're probably the best bang for your buck, that you're gonna get the best results without going crazy doing engine swaps or superchargers or anything like that. So if you enjoyed the video, press like, subscribe, and thanks for watching.